Having now published 3 fantasy novels, I can tell you right now that the writing process is not easy. But over my journey, I've learned some strategies and tactics that have made my writing a lot more effortless and consistent and easy compared to when I was just starting out. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing 2 quick principles that will help you develop better writing habits. Principle number 1 is to use a writer's brief. So with the writer's brief, what you do is every day before you sit down to write, you just take a couple of minutes, I would suggest no more than 5, to get out a sheet of paper or a notebook and write down a few dot points about what you plan to write for the day. So what your characters are going to be doing, how you're going to be progressing the plot, the cool events that might be happening in your story. Basically just a really quick overview of the sort of key moments you're aiming to hit with that day's writing. Even if you have outlined before and you have an extensive outline, which I tend to do when I'm approaching my stories, it's really useful to reorient yourself with this quick writer's brief. Because what this writer's brief does is it increases your knowledge, and knowledge is one of the sort of 6 aspects of the hexagon of intensity, which is a concept I discussed in my Easy Writing Habits course as a way to double or even triple your daily word counts. And I literally had a student message me yesterday saying that his word counts have already tripled only a couple of days after finishing the course, which is really awesome. So you can structure your writer's brief however you want, but I would definitely suggest doing it physically, pen and paper on hand. Something about getting the hand moving, just that kinesthetic experience of actually writing down, tends to help you generate more ideas. And then I would also suggest that you answer the following 4 questions in your writer's brief. What am I going to write about? So just a general overview of the plot that you're aiming to cover for the day. How does this progress the plot? So you don't want to just be writing stuff for the sake of filling up the page. You want to be actually moving the narrative forward, generating momentum, progressing the stakes, increasing conflict, moving us through the story in an exciting way. How does this develop my characters? By the same token, it's not enough for stuff to just be happening in your story. It needs to have some sort of impact on your characters. Stories, fundamentally, the way I kind of see it, are about characters pursuing an object of desire and changing as a result of their pursuit. So it's important to be balancing plot and character as these 2 interlinked concepts. And then lastly, number 4 is, why will this be somebody's favorite scene? And I find that this is such a powerful question to ask yourself, particularly when you're not feeling that motivated to write for the day, because asking yourself, why will this be someone's favorite scene, often encourages you to find a way to elevate that scene in a way that excites you, that makes you more eager to write it. So you might just have this boring exposition scene where 2 characters are talking and they're describing something about your story's magic system. And it's important to get across, but it doesn't thrill you. You just sort of feel like, I have to write this scene so that they understand what I understand. Instead, if you ask yourself, no, why will this be someone's favorite scene? Maybe it leads you to have this conversation take place while the characters are walking through this really interesting setting. Maybe they're walking through like this floating city and they're explaining the magic system or something like that. Or perhaps they're explaining the magic system while in the middle of a battle, while one character is desperately trying to learn the magic in order to survive. That is a way to elevate that scene that might have been boring to you initially and make it into something that could actually be one of your readers' favorite scenes. So you can actually download my free Principles Writer's Brief template with those questions by clicking the link in the description down below, or just by going to jedherne.com/brief. Principle number 2 for making your writing more effortless is the 2-minute rule. So procrastination tends to increase in proportion to the scale of the task ahead of us. If you have to clean your entire house, that is maybe something that you might procrastinate on for days or even weeks. But if you just simply have to pick up 1 piece of trash from the ground, well, you can just do that right there. Those 2 tasks kind of start in the same way. Cleaning your whole house starts with you just picking up 1 piece of trash. But when you perceive a task to be huge and to have this massive scale ahead of you, you're far less likely to do it. So I think it's really useful to apply that same mentality to writing, because the thing is, if you just start by picking up that 1 piece of trash, you might all of a sudden decide, oh, there's another piece over there and another piece over there. Oh, why don't I just get the vacuum cleaner out? Why don't I just get the broom out and clean up this whole thing? And it's the exact same with your writing. If you sit down every day to write and you tell yourself, all right, I've got to do 10,000 words today and I've got to be here for 10 hours to get those words done, probably going to be very demotivated to write, and it's going to be difficult to actually stick with that in a consistent way. On the other hand, I find it really useful to just tell myself quite often, look, you just have to sit down, you just have to do 2 minutes worth of writing. Just do 2 minutes and then you can check email or do this other Google search that you wanted to do, or go off and do this other task that you think is so important. And almost all the time, as soon as I get 2 minutes in, that 2 minutes then turns into 5, into 10. And then before I know it, I've actually sat down and done a solid hour's worth of writing. Oftentimes, just starting is half the battle. So if you're able to trick yourself into starting by setting the stakes really low, making it really easy and frictionless to just start, then it's a lot easier for you to actually maintain a consistent writing habit. So those are 2 quick rules to help you make your writing a little bit more effortless, a little bit more enjoyable. And to those of us who are in pursuit of great stories, to you I say, keep writing and keep striving. I'll see you in the next video.